Good morning. Good morning. We're going to go ahead and kickstart this today. We're going to go ahead and get started on our pre market analysis. So, therefore, we can go ahead and check out the markets and see what opportunities we have today. So, let's go ahead and get started. Of course, we have to check out our Forex Factory. So, Forex Factory, we had a couple of news events that came in. We had CPI that came in this morning, as well as the FWE annual meeting. Day three came in earlier this morning. And then beyond that, we also have USD, President Trump speaking at about 7:30 in the morning. So we're about 2.5 hours away from there. So just keep this in mind whenever we get closer to the opening bell, or the open of the stock market. And in that sense, at that point, we will have President Trump speaking towards the beginning. So be careful with volatility, depending on uh, what time frame you're trading. So, with everything here, we have an additional EU that we have President speaks. We have AUD at the end of day on Wednesday. Um, Outside of that, going into tomorrow, before we come to the market, we don't really have any crazy news events as of right there. Just a pinpoint, we do have USD GDP that comes out at 7:30. Now we'll remark that once we come to the charts tomorrow as well. But as of today, all we have to mainly worry about moving forward is going to be President Trump and then a few minor orange folders. We're not currently trading EU. We are trading GU. So for that reason, we might have the opportunity where it could come in and kind of make a little bit of a difference, but not too much. So all right, so we're gonna jump right into the charts. So I made a decision, and I'm gonna be taking away the DXY for my pre-market analysis, and I'm gonna go ahead and stick to just doing the pre-market on everything else as of right here. Um, so usually with the DXY, with the inverse correlation, I just, since I'm not really trading that many forex pairs anymore, I'm only trading three in total. At that point, I just didn't really mind just skipping out on the DXY as of right now, just to see what the opportunities presented itself upon each of the actual pairs itself. So right here we have, I'm going to just go ahead and check the weekly real quick just to show you where we're at. So this is where we are on the weekly time frame. We have created this, we had this ultimate high, we have a lower high, and now we're forming another lower high. And then you can see last week we wicked high and closed low. This week we wicked all the way near the highs at the key level, and now we're pushing back down, aiming for getting back below the CMA. So I got in on one of these moves over here for the down move. Unfortunately, I got stopped out and break even, but I did get into another trade opportunity that presented itself. So as of right now, I am currently in a trade, heading back to the downside, and we'll kind of get into that. So going back to the daily, just to see where we're currently at on the daily time frame. Again, we were in this overall down move here. Price came through and kind of created this daily down move here, and then broke structure, pulled back, and off of this move where we rejected the key level and started pushing down inside this daily time frame, I was able to get an entry point. And then as you can see, we came all the way to these highs. So I've already moved my stop loss from the key levels up here, and I put it somewhere near the support resistance zone. So unfortunately, we did get stopped out. We did get a little bit of a profit overall on that trade, but now we have came all the way down, broken structure here based upon these previous lows and these previous lows. So this structure point, we pivoted all the way up here, and now we're currently pushing back down. So we have not even attempted. So these highs right here, we haven't even attempted to come near these highs once again. So if we continue to push down and this daily candle gives us a nice bearish engulfing bar, that would be extremely lovely. If this sets up as a evening star with a 75% closure of this bearish engulfing bar here, that will also be a really great opportunity. Typically with a evening star, I love whenever it has a bearish engulfing or at least 75% of a closure of the previous bullish engulfing that was taking place. Now, if we go over to a 4-hour, we can see here where I took my entry point. So my entry point right here, we had, let me just kind of scooch over on here. So we had this double / triple top area that formed. So tap 1, tap 2, rejected, right? And then came up here, tap 3, rejected. So on this rejection area here, I was looking for a sell opportunity, even though our stop loss was right here and we got taken out. I got out of the market at this level for one reason, is just in case it broke through this key level extremely strong and then started heading up. But instead, what we did was we came to this level here, right? This level that is about right here. And then we broke through, gave rejection, and then gave a continuation of the rejection here. So for all of those reasons, I liked for another re-entry. So once we started giving this rejection off the 4-hour, I then dropped down to a 2-hour just to see where we were at. And as you can see, we kind of got this evening star look that kind of started. But I didn't really get interested off of this evening star that kind of came in here. We then broke it down back to a 1-hour. And then off of this 1-hour here, we can see that we got a nice rejection, 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 and then a bearish engulfing bar, and then a follow through bar of a bearish engulfing breaking the EMA off the 1-hour. We haven't broken the structure points yet of this bullish uptrend, but we have broken the structure point of this EMA. So for that reason, I was already bearish. And then we got confirmation of rejection of a key level, meaning bearish. So for this reason, I got in, put my stop loss above these highs. I actually put my stop loss right above this key level. I think it was at 1.35.5, like 0.05 or 0.3505. So if I'm not mistaken, that's roughly where I put my stop loss to give some extra flexibility just in case. So right here, we broke through, then we came up, rejected, and then came up, rejected, came up, rejected, triple rejection right here around the 50% of this move. And then we came back down and broke these lows, this giving us a pivotal point of aiming to keep these sells going. So then we got a pullback about 50% of this move, and now we're in a continuation phase at this very moment. So just kind of breaking what I went through, we are currently at this continuation phase. So hopefully we will continue to break below these lows. Now, I don't know if we're going to break these lows today or if we're going to break them by tomorrow, but the aim would be to break these lows over the duration of the remaining of this week. So we'll continue to monitor GU to see what happens, but that is where I got my entry point in as of right now. And we are aiming to break lows. Now, let's jump right into gold so we can analyze it. All right, so gold has been acting very insane right now. So this is kind of like what I'm seeing on a daily time frame. We had pushed up from these lows to these highs, and then we made a nice pullback, and now a really harsh pull to the upside. So what we could see is this is last time, right? Just kind of looking at this information right here. Last time we started soft, started gaining momentum, plateaued, and then started rallying back up, gained a lot of momentum, and then dropped significantly. So, repeating itself, we gained a little bit of momentum, We started pushing up, We then went a little sideways, pushed up, went a little sideways, pushed up, went a little sideways, and then lots of momentum up, So now, right, we have followed through gold, the same momentum here we have here. The only thing is right now, this is a little bit weaker. This is a little bit stronger. So what I am thinking is we're going to start slowing down a little bit. So over the next couple days, right? So maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, today is Wednesday. Maybe today and Thursday, we're going to slow down a little bit, potentially, not guaranteed. And then we're going to make a significant drop as a pullback, similar to this one, because you can also see this one had a major push up, right? Some slow down in momentum and then a drop. And this drop lasted a little while. So I'm thinking because how much we have pulled up, we could get a major pullback like this that could last about a week or two versus this one that was literally a 1 day drop and then a few day just sideways move and then a continuation back up. So we will monitor gold to wait for the major pullback. And then at that point, we would be looking for an entry point. But on gold specifically right now, I'm not looking to enter and I'll break down why. So right now we're currently in this major uptrend. We are following trend direction, which is a positive. I would love to get into this trade. Then we go down to a 4 hour, 4 hour structure points. We have right here, market came up from this low to this high, making a double top, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So as you can see, we are in this 4 hour Fibonacci zone right here. I can't do anything until we get a pullback at least to the 50%, between the 50 and 78. Now, with gold specifically, I am okay with getting in if gold retraces a little bit above a 50% retracement and gives a signal bar to buy. I'm perfectly fine with that because I know gold would get to about 40 to 50% right here, and then it can reject ridiculously. And we've seen that multiple times. Like even looking at this daily, we had this major pullback right above this 50% at this key level, and then it just shot off. So for that reason, yeah. But beyond that, I would be anticipating a pullback first off the 4 hours. So again, can't really do anything. Let me delete this just so therefore we can see it a little bit clearer. Cool. So right here, we're currently in this major uptrend. And then if you look even closer on all of these moves, you don't really see any higher low. So this may be a higher low right here. And then it just pushes, and that's it. There is no structure point for me to get in. And then even if I go to a 2 hour, again, there's no direct structure point for me to enter a trade. It's just pushing straight up. Then I go to a 1 hour and we can see, again, there's no structure point of me getting in because the way that I trade is I use support resistance. So for example, I could have used a support resistance zone here, right? And then we had a breakout that came up and I would be anticipating a pullback to this zone and then a continuation. We didn't get that, right? So for that reason, I couldn't get in. So therefore we wait for the next break to the high, right? And say we get this little consolidation zone right here where we get a break to the high, pullback, right? So therefore I would be waiting for this pull up. We got this little pullback, pull up. We would be looking to try to tap this zone here, which we didn't get to the zone. And then it just shot up again, right? So for that reason, again, I would not be able to get in. And then next but not least is going to be this zone that we're currently at, we have this little itty bitty zone that we're currently at that we just rejected from. The only issue here would be is if I had a Fibonacci from this pivot point to this pivot point, we haven't came back to this 50%, and I need a 50% retracement because the likelihood of it slowing down like it currently is likely, right? So for that reason is because we're pushing up, rejected, pushing up, rejected, right? So this is giving me rejection possibility where price could just start tanking back down to the 50%, give some rejection here, and then I would be looking for a possible buy. But that's pretty much it. Again, no real entry points on this move right now, so I could not even look for an entry. So yeah, I'm just kind of waiting on my hands to see what gold presents itself, and then we could be looking at a opportunity in the near future. But as of right now, no. So let's go ahead and jump over. We're gonna jump over to NASDAQ as of right now. NASDAQ, we are currently, let's look at a daily time frame. So on a daily time frame, we have been in this major consolidation zone here, making higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And then we have been making a lower high, a slight break of this lower high. And then now we have gapped over Sunday and pushed down. I'm waiting for a major pullback to the upside. So as of this moment, we had this pullback here where we made this new low, this lower high, and then this continuation phase. So right now I am looking for a major swing back up to this 50%, possibly this 9 EMA, and then I would be looking for a continuation down. Gotcha. Let's see. So on here specifically, that's pretty much where I'm at this very moment. Off of a 4-hour time frame, we have, let's see, we have this major area still with the same Fibonacci. We can see that we are currently, we came close to trying to fill this gap right here, but then we immediately rejected. And now we're just kind of consolidating. We have major touches to this low point. So this is giving some possible rejections where we could continue higher versus continuing lower at this very moment. Now we are getting lower lows. So if I just kind of pinpoint right here off of this little trend line, we are getting a, sorry, not lower lows, but lower highs. So we have this high here. We have this double top kind of forming, and then we have a lower high right here. And then we have a touch point of a lower low, and then a double bottom, and we're currently at a triple bottom. So if we give a rejection, that would be nice for me because at that point we would reject back to the 50, and then I would be looking for a sell opportunity from there. But as of right now for NASDAQ, there's nothing that I can really look upon. I'm not trading this consolidation zone. I am waiting for a major directional change. And then once we get that, I will look for an entry point. Sip some tea. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into the S&P 500. S&P 500 and the NASDAQ usually move very similar, at least from the time that I've been trading. I've known that they trade very, very closely the same. So similar correlation, but slightly different on the overall moves. So I have the same style of Fibonacci where the market structure has came up, came down, came up, right? Came down, kind of giving a double bottom, then a slight lower high, and then a break to the downside with that gap. So with this, we have officially broken structure here. So at this point, this was the higher low. This is the higher high. This is a new low that is now formed. So I am waiting again for this move to get a 50% retracement. And then once we get a 50% retracement, then at that point, I will be looking for sells. But as of right now, I'm not sure when this 50% retracement will start. But as of right now, I'm just going ahead and waiting to see what opportunities come in. So at that point, we will look for sell opportunities off, excuse me, off of the S&P 500. So let's continue to wait and see what opportunities present itself. Don't trade. I'm not chasing any trades. As of right now, I'm waiting for my plan. I'm waiting for my setup, and right now I have the beginning stages of my setup starting to form. So once I get the next confirmation of my setup, then at that point I can look for an opportunity to trade. All right, let's jump into silver. Silver is very straightforward. It's very closely the same as gold. And with gold itself, gold, as we know, is rallying very hard. So right here, what silver is doing something similar but slightly different, right? So this is where I kind of make sure that you understand is they're different and they're very similar in correlation, but they're not going to react the exact same. So silver has been like hasn't exceeded $50 until pretty much like this year. So where is it? $50. So all the way right here, this is the breakout point. So this was all the way, let's just say $50 here, right? Or $50 over here, right? 2025. So November 2025 is when we officially broke through. Let's see. Yeah, this is, yeah, just over here, $54. So what is this? 2025 still? Yeah, October. Yeah. So around here, somewhere around October, we broke the all-time highs. And then ever since we broke the all-time highs, we got a nice pullback, came back up, double top, came down, and now we're just like rallying up extremely. And now that we're at these all-time highs, and especially with gold on how gold is reacting, we are just making these massive swings up and down on silver, and it's just insane right now. So with silver specifically, we have this double top that's formed. We have this breakout structure area. I have this overall daily Fibonacci from this this pivotal point right here. A, B, I'm anticipating C to form here. So once we had a pullback, I was expecting a 50% at minimum to continue to the upside. Now we did start to consolidate in this zone, which I'm perfectly fine with. We started getting this higher low, which I would have been starting to look for an entry opportunity, but there was no entry opportunity that presented itself for me yet. But then we gapped and we just been kind of slowly grinding up. So as of right now, there's no entry points for me because of the slow momentum at the all-time high. So for that reason specifically, I would have to wait for a pullback again before we continue to the upside. Now you could put a Fibonacci from A to B. So coming from this low, and then we had a push all the way to this high. So therefore we could get a nice pullback to the 50% zone here, which would also touch base with this additional downtrend that we previously had for a continuation to the negative 27. Again, if we get this, that would be a great opportunity for me to get in for a buy. But as of right now, I just have to wait until we get this pullback, because on the 4-hour, we are just wicking up, wicking down, wicking up. And so for that reason, I can't really get into silver whatsoever because the direction is not clear at all. It looks like it's going to try to push back up to the upside. But me personally, I would not be looking for an entry point at this time. So we're going to go ahead and continue. I'll go ahead and check out the 2-hour just to see where the 2-hour sits. And we can kind of see what opportunities are here. So we do have this little bit of an uptrend forming here. We do have this downtrend that has formed here. Let me delete this so we can kind of see a little more clarity. So we have this downtrend. It has 2 touch points here. We have this uptrend with this market structure. So we pushed up. We had a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower high, higher low. So if we get a lower high again, that could make it where we form a break. If we do break out of this downtrend here, then we could continue up to this negative 27. We are currently breaking out of this EMA point, but you can see from right here, we have broken out of this EMA once before and immediately rejected. Over here, we had a nice break continuation, but then that didn't last long at all. And we had this major rejection here. And then ever since this major rejection, it's just been consolidating, such as if you put a, what is it called? Consolidation zone just right here. You can see it hasn't broken the high or the low of this major rejection. So for that reason, I'm currently not looking for the buy, just because this is on a 2-hour consolidation zone. And I personally like to trade off of the 1 hour, 2 hour opportunities. But I'm not in a zone that I'm actually interested in trading. Especially if you did a Fibonacci. Let me just look at this Fibonacci off of 2 hour. I don't usually do 2 hour Fibonacci's. We are rejecting the 78% zone on the 2 hour. So that's a positive. But yeah, I would really have to see some sort of structure point in order to really get in off of silver, because you also got to think silver's move are very, very like sporadic in that sense, especially trading on, for example, I use GUI trades. I use GUI trades off of prime time. And for that reason, it's like the spread points, they're very high. Plus the dollar value on there. So for those reasons, I like to get a better opportunity for a swing trade, because if you're trying to scalp or if you're trying to intraday trade, you could be just wicked out of this trade just because of how price action moves on the actual market that you're trading on. Now, if you were trading on, say, Ninja Trader and it's the futures market, you could scalp on there because they have controlled, what is it called? They have more control on the contracts themselves. So for that reason specifically, you could get better opportunities in the sense of shorter moves. But me, I'm a swing trader, so I'm not looking to scalp off of 5 minutes or 15 minutes or anything. My entry points are on the 1 hour chart. So Ninja Trader, unfortunately, just doesn't work for me right now, just because I don't have enough capital to hold over the days or over weekends or anything like that. So as of right now, I am waiting on my hands on silver as well, anticipating a breakout to the upside or a continuation down, because we are giving rejection of making these highs at this very moment. So we'll kind of see what happens on silver, and we're going to go ahead and jump into the last 3 pairs that I currently have. So let's check out UJ. So on UJ, we have a daily price action that we're going to look at, and then we're going to hop into the 4 hour and 2 hour and 1 hour. So at this very moment, we have UJ. We have created some some resistance here that is starting to become support, right? So if I just kind of unmark everything, you can see price came up and then rejected here, gave a bearish engulfing bar. Price then headed down. It created a lower high, then it created this double bottom here, trying to shoot back up to giving a bullish direction. Price had this huge bullish engulfing bar that immediately got rejected again, so giving this resistance zone. So once we got this, we were still now up back in this uptrend because of this double bottom and a break of this structure point here. So this made a new high based upon this lower high that was previously formed. So price action started giving this minor higher low, higher low, higher low. And then we finally broke out of this structure point. And then we broke to the highs, giving us a higher high. And now we're coming down. I'm anticipating a higher low, right? So this is why I'm in this trade. So for this exact trade, we have this Fibonacci. We have 2 Fibonacci zones that I was looking at. This is the daily from the pivotal point from here to here, and I was looking at a possible 50% retracement. That's what this is drawn on for right here, would be a possible 50% retracement to a continuation of the negative 27. So we could continue a little bit lower before continuing higher. I already anticipated that. So if I get stopped out, that's acceptable, right? But as of right now, we also have this 4 hour slash daily Fibonacci. So if I drop to a 4 hour, we have this major pivot point of a higher low to higher high. And then we have what price does is it pushes all the way up. And then we gave this higher low, but then we gave a lower high, and then we gave this pivotal point here on this trend line plus the 50%, 60, and between the 50% and the 61% retracement zone. We also have this trend line here. So that's two confluences. Third confluence, this is my support resistance zone right here, right? So this is my previous support resistance zone. So that's three, and now four reasons, because right here we're giving a double bottom. So now we're at four reasons that we're going to continue the buy move. So for all of those reasons, that's why I'm still in this trade. And I'm anticipating price to continue up to this negative 27% zone, or a continuation to the ultimate Fibonacci zones up here. Now I obviously have a handful of different ones drawn on, but this is where I'm anticipating this overall 4 hour move. This is a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio as of right now. We've already met some drawdown, and then we rejected this level here and we did not get stopped out. And now we're kind of back at break even at this moment. So we'll kind of see how price continues to react. The only downfall for this whole move right here that I don't like this rejection bar. So when price came up and then there was a news catalyst, right? So the news catalyst came up and pushed the market up and then immediately rejected all the way down. But then price came in and created this double bottom to push back up. So I don't like this rejection from the high, but this was showing is buyers in the market. So that's a positive. But then, or the other positive was also the double bottom that was created. And now we're getting momentum back up. The only part that I don't like as well is the consolidation that it's currently in and forming right now. So we'll just keep on monitoring UJ just to see what price action does. But as of right now, I'm holding on to this trade, and we'll see how price continues to either go in my favor, or if it starts rejecting and starting to break this EMA. If it starts breaking this EMA and holding below, then I might just exit out of the trade completely, giving me a thesis that it might continue lower before continuing higher. So we also are at this key level. So that's another added on confluence as well. So now we're at 5 confluences. So all these reasons to get in, I would have to get in and I would have to hold, right? So if there is another opportunity, let's look at the 2 hour. So 2 hour, we're currently in this down move here, right? Kind of forming a little bit of a lower high, kind of double bottom, triple top. And then we're also, sorry, this thing always annoys me whenever it gets in the way. Right here, we also have this kind of double bottom forming. So ideally, off of this 2 hour, we have 26 more minutes. If we get a bullish engulfing bar, and I don't think it's going to happen, it's possible. You never know. But if we get a bullish engulfing bar that's breaking above these highs, I would actually enter another trade. So either this bar or the next bar, or, the next bar after that. So in the next 3 bars, if we get a bullish engulfing bar that breaks above this 9 EMA and breaks above these highs, I would be interested in getting into another trade here, to be honest with you. And I would only trade half of whatever my total risk is. So if my total risk, say, is $1,000, then I would risk $500. If my total risk was $500, I would only enter a $250. Since I'm already in a full risk here, I only add half. So this right here, we're currently giving some rejection of a lower high. I would be okay with it pulling back a little bit further. So, and then continuing higher at that point. Again, either a 1 hour or a 2 hour bullish engulfing bar, breaking above these highs specifically. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a green light. So if it breaks above, it will give me a notification that says UJ green light, and that's indicating to me that I have my buy opportunity has presented itself, and I can just jump right into the market, jump on my phone, add this trade, and then go about my day. So that will take me literally like 15 seconds. So I'm going to get a nice notification, and then I'll add to the trade. Outside of that, if it continues down in my direction, I get stopped out, and it is what it is. It would just be a losing trade at that point. So we got two more to kind of look at. We have UCAD as of right now, and then next we'll have US 30. So UCAD, I was looking at this overall move. I'm going to go ahead and take everything off of here. So UCAD daily time frame, just kind of looking back, we are in this overall down move. And then recently we came up and we have been pushing into this up directional move right here, created this double top, and then had this major correction down. We had this market structure break these lows, these lows, these lows. So all of this has broken all of these lows. So I'm thinking we're going to continue bearish. So with this move, if we bring this information back up, you have this double top, you have this pivotal point all the way down here to this pivotal point on a daily time frame. The reason why I'm putting it here is we have a major push down, a little bit of a sideways move, continuation down, little bit of a sideways move, continuation all the way down, and then we actually get a little bit of a pullback here and then a continuation down. Just because of how strong this total move was, I would just call this a full leg. So it's a entire move all the way down. So now we just need a push up and then a continuation. So now that I'm looking at a potential continuation right here, we got to my 50%. This is also a previous support resistance zone. So resistance, 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 support, support, right? Broke through. And then you can drag it all the way back over here if you wanted to, right? You had resistance here. You had some support here. So for all of those reasons, I was looking for a reaction in this general area. So now that we got to the area of my interest, so the way that I like to describe this is between the 78 and 50%. This is my area of interest. So my AOI. So once we're in my AOI area, I'm looking for some sort of reaction to show me that we're going to continue in that direction. So therefore, I came down to a 4 hour. The 4 hour, I drew a structural point here. We came up, we had higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low here, higher high here. So this is just continuing my total analysis. So I drew this consolidation box between the most recent higher low and the most recent higher high. Once we break structure, which we just did, once we break structure, I need a little bit of a pullback, right? So I'm looking at possibly a 50% pullback here off of this 4 hour Fibonacci zone. And once we get a little bit of a pullback on this Fibonacci zone here, I would be looking to sell this entire market. Now, I don't have to have a full retracement to the 50% on the 4 hour every single time, but I recommend it every single time, to be honest with you. The reason why is because we can see right here is we're actually getting a consolidation zone to the right. And you could say that we're at our EMA, right? We just touched our EMA and we're rejecting this, this right here with this bearish engulfing bar currently forming. We're still 2.5 hours away for this bearish engulfing bar to form. So let's go ahead and check out the 2 hour mark just to see where it's at. So on the 2 hour mark, we can see right here that this is currently rejecting these highs and we are currently pushing down. Now, if we can break on this one, we have 21 minutes pretty much before this closure. So if this 2 hour bar right here can close below this low, then I would be looking into a possible sell opportunity. So I would look at a sell opportunity here, stop loss here, and then take profit would be off of the daily time frame. I would be aiming for these lows all the way down here. near this trend line. So that would give me a 5, almost a 6R, right? And then obviously I would be taking profits at the negative 27, taking profits at the negative 61. But beyond that, the only downfall for this is it's high risk trade. So being a high risk trade, you could get a quick move to the downside and then a major rejection coming all the way back up to this key level kind of area of this overall move down. And then if you got that, then you would be stopped out, which if you were moving your stop loss in to take profit right whenever you got in, not right when you got in, but if you were trailing your move and moved your stop loss due to this being a high risk trade, I would recommend if you got in, then at that point, let it see if it goes in your favor. Take, probably 50% or 25% at least of the move off at the negative 27, and then move your stop loss to break even. So therefore, if you do get this major pullback, you're already stopped out. You get this major pullback, you get a better entry point, and then you can hold the entire move all the way down to your overall take profit zone. But that just means that the market needed a little bit more breathing room, and was just not ready to move off of this move just because of it hasn't retraced enough. It didn't give enough breathing room in order to continue the overall move. So this is just an opportunity that I have as of right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create another green light. I'm going to put this green light a little bit below here, and then I'll come right back to this in just a few minutes. It's probably going to be a little after the stream, but I'm going to add this here. So I added my notification. So therefore it's an alert. It's going to send me a notification if we break and hold below this area. So I'm going to save UCAD on here, and we're going to go ahead and jump into our last pair, which is US 30. So on US 30, I have not been trading this one. This is a new pair for me, so I don't have that much information off of US 30 to really give my full insight. But market structure is market structure. It's pretty much the same in that regard. So if we just kind of pull all the markings off of it, you can just see we're in an overall uptrend. We are giving a lot of rejections at this all-time high, and we could look at a weekly time frame and just kind of quickly glance. We are literally at all-time high. So overall, we are breaking highs like crazy. So we had this major rejection here, not rejection, but this major retracement back to our zone. So if you actually look at this is my exact setup right here. So let's just analyze this and then just kind of go from there. So if we had a structure point here, which is our support resistance zone, right here, we actually had a break of structure up here, pullback zone here, and then continuation up. If I added a Fibonacci, we have an A, we have B, tap the 50% to the T at my support resistance zone, and then went all the way to take profit. So this is what I'm exactly waiting for. And this happened on a weekly time frame. Imagine holding this move from 36,000 all the way to 50K. So yeah, that's my move. That's what I'm ultimately waiting for. Right now, it doesn't have to always happen on a weekly, because then if I'm waiting on a weekly, this took 2021 all the way to 2025 just to give. No, we're not waiting that long. So this is just my pinpoint on the weekly. It gave my setup, and I just wanted to show you my exact setup right there. So literally 3 moves. So price push up, breaks a high, pulls back to my support resistance zone, and then gives me a opportunity for a buy. So that's it. So let's go ahead and analyze this actual all the information that we currently have. So we are currently in this market structure of a bullish trend. We are currently giving a pullback as of right now. So let's go ahead and just mark this up. So we have this lower high here, or the lower low, lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, break of structure. And then we kind of start building this momentum back up, giving a overall higher high. So now we're looking for a possible swing higher low. So I know this is a little bit jumbled and I apologize for that. We can kind of delete this as well so we can kind of see it a little bit better. So right here, I am in the anticipation that we are having this higher high, higher low, right? This is a lower high, higher low. So right here, this is kind of like a double bottom for me. And then we make a break of structure. So what I'm looking at is I'm looking at a Fibonacci specifically from this higher low here, right? Because this is kind of like a double bottom zone. So I'm looking from this higher low to this higher high. I'm looking for a pullback into this zone here between the 50 and 78. And then once we get a pullback in here, like we currently are, now I'm going to go down to the 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour and see if there's an entry opportunity that presents itself for a buy. So I'm going to delete this information here. I'm going to drop down to a 4 hour. And this is what we're looking like as of right now. We were in this consolidation zone. We have broken through this consolidation zone. We have rejected to return back to the top. So this could be a possibility of a major pullback, right? So this could be a start of a major pullback. I don't know. As of right now, US 30, like I said, is new to me. But we did give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rejections up at this top, and this is all-time highs. And now we're breaking the low, rejecting previous support levels, and now we're continuing lower. I'm currently in the thought process of a buy off of the daily. And now on the 4 hour, it's still giving me a buy setup from this higher low to this higher high. The only thing is we are starting to see some rejection points on this 4 hour. So we just have to be careful where even though we're looking for a buy, we might not get any sort of actual buy opportunity in here. And for that reason, don't try to force a move, right? Be like, oh, I think it, no. If it presents itself, it will present itself. Just like we saw on UJ, right? It started to present a rejection zone. So once it starts presenting that rejection zone, or UCAT, right? It started presenting its rejection zone. And at that point, we're looking for an entry. Don't just try to FOMO into it and just be like, oh, we're at the 61. Let me buy, stop loss below the 78. And then we're going to go from there, right? You could, right? Depending on how your trading analysis goes and how your trade, plan is, go for it. But as of right now, the way that I wait for it is I need price to show me that it's going to continue to the buy direction. On the 4 hour, at this very moment, I have no confirmation at all that buys are going to continue. We have this bearish engulfing bar, and that's showing sells. We have a major pullback giving a rejection showing sells. Then we have a break of structure once again showing sells. And we are continuing to make lower high, and we are almost about to break this low once again. So for all of these reasons, there's nothing telling me buys as of yet. So there's no point of going down to the 2 hour or 1 hour, in my opinion. Now we're going to go there just to kind of check it out. So 2 hour wise, you can see clearly we are still underneath this EMA. We had a breakout here. So if you were looking for a buy, this would have been a opportunity that you could have gotten in based upon this move here was a bearish move. You had a bullish engulfing bar sideways, break out above the EMA off the 2 hour, and then you could have entered here. And unfortunately, your stop loss would have been here. You would have been taken out. Or if you gave a little bit of flexibility, right, then you say your stop loss is down here, you could be almost on the way of getting out. But I'm just pinpointing, this was an entry opportunity. It was a risky entry opportunity because you didn't wait for a break of structure, a higher low, giving confirmation, and then the continuation. So this one was just price came down, came in my zone, gave me a buy opportunity, and I entered, right? So you could, depending on your risk tolerance. So if you were okay with this being a high risk trade, meaning you have a 40% chance of winning, 60% chance of losing, but this could net you a good return, and you had, say, a 1 to 5 R or something like that. So say I entered off of this trade. Let's just look at what the risk reward would have been. So if I entered right on the closure of this bar, I put my stop loss right here. Say I'm already taken out, right? Let's just go over to the 4 hour or even the daily to see where my take profit would have been. My take profit would have been up here at this kind of key level area, and it would have been a 1 to 3. So, I mean, that's not a bad risk to reward in that regard, a 1 to 3. Now, I prefer a 1 to 3 or higher risk to reward, but this would have met my minimum. Me personally, I don't think I would have gotten in just because, again, it's a newer one for me. So I would really have preferred that higher low to be presented and then a continuation pattern. So if you look at even a 1 hour, just to kind of show you as well, we do have this rejection area here. And even if you got into this move where, say, you kind of got this higher low from here, and this could have been your confirmation. See, like even when you break this down to the 1 hour, you could have even summed this up to this zone here, where you have a break of structure above the EMA here, market structure presented a higher low on the 1 hour. You put your stop loss here, and then you aimed for the same take profit zone, right? Again, same concept you could have aimed for. This one would have gave you a 1 to 4 risk to reward ratio. Again, you would have been stopped out, but this is not a bad trade. But it would have been just an unfortunate event where you didn't actually get the actual trade, which is okay. You know, that happens. It's gonna continue to happen, right? But you want to make sure that you have a high probability setup. So with your high probability setup, trade how you have it. And as of right now, with the pairs that I don't know, I need the extra confirmation. Or I'm just, right now I'm mainly just watching these just to see if it does set up, and then if I feel comfortable with actually entering. And if I do enter any of these new pairs, I'm probably going to half my risk. So whatever my risk tolerance is, if it's $1,000, then I'm going to risk $500. So therefore, it's going to give me a little bit of a win, giving me the actual feedback, the information, me actually watching the trade. But it's not going to sit here and devastate me of like, oh, I lost this trade, I shouldn't have entered or anything like that, because I'm accepting the smaller risk than my normal risk tolerance as I am trying to trade this, just like I trade all the other markets that I do trade. So that's pretty much everything that I have as of right now. So just a quick recap, US 30, I'm looking for potential buys. UJ, I am currently in, sorry, this is UCAD. UCAD, I'm looking for a possible continuation to continue lower. So I'm looking for sells. UJ, I'm currently in a buy, and I'm waiting for another buy opportunity. So therefore, I can continue to actually add to this position to continue higher. And then we have, where is it? Silver. Silver, I'm anticipating a continuation to the downside before we actually continue the overall uptrend. So me personally, I'm looking for a down move at this very moment. I'm not gonna sell silver just because I'm not gonna sell into this gap. I'm not gonna sell because of these, but I'm waiting for that pullback. I want that pullback, and then I will buy. So that's where I'm currently at. And then S&P 500, I'm anticipating a sell. NASDAQ, I'm anticipating a sell as well. And then gold, I'm personally waiting for a pullback. I'm not going to sell gold, right? There's literally nowhere here that tells me to sell gold. But I am waiting for the major correction in order to get in for a buy opportunity in the future. And then last but not least is going to be GU. I'm waiting right now for a possible additional entry. But as of right now, I'm looking for a sell off of GU. And that's pretty much marks everything up for today. So y'all have a great rest of your day, and go ahead and let me know if I can further assist. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.